Hello everyone. Before we begin tonight's video, or today, or wherever you are in the world's video, first, a little warning. I do not own Deltarune or any animes such as My Hero Academia. The properties of Deltarune belong to the property of Deltarune as a whole belongs to the great Toby Fox and his co-workers who may or may not have helped him develop the game. I also do not own the soundtrack you're about to hear, which is Chaos DDD, or the theme I'm going to be using for Kris. It is by literally no one. That's literally their YouTube name. They make so many great Undertale, especially Megalovania, FNF, and all different types of song remixes. I recommend you go check out their channel. And yeah. Now, I also do not own MHA, that belongs to Kohei Hirakoshi, and I do not own any properties to any animes, like Naruto, which belongs to Kishimoto. I think I don't own JoJo's, which belongs to, I think, Araki. I don't own Dragon Ball, which belongs to Toriyama, and I do not own any other anime. All of them belong to their separate creators. The only thing I own in this video is my voice and the story itself. So, without any further ado, let's begin. Alright everyone, welcome back. Without any further ado, I must say, it has been great to finally retell this story. This one, if I'm correct, part 0 was created by, my second channel name. Allow me to explain the history of my channel. Originally, like most people, it's named after your actual name. Mine is Nicholas Ely, if you've seen my, face reveal video. Then after that, I decided to change it to Ouroboros. It had a pitch black picture of what appeared to be a black void, but if you turned your brightness all the way up, you could actually see my eyeball, my right eyeball. All in the dark. So yeah, that's a little bit creepy. Then I went for Kane Atsuzuki. Then I went for the Pale King. And finally, Nicholas Kibutsuji. Now, a little recap for the video. The old, if, now I'm not going to give the whole recap, like I'm not going to tell you every single part, but if you want, the first video, part 0, is in my YouTube. Is in my, list of videos, somewhere down there. You'll notice it because it has what appears to be Susie in Ralph's outfit, but purple and pink as the, well, front cover. Now, here's the what happened last time. Previously on What If Deku was the reincarnation of Chaos King Kris. Kris had been killed. Kris had been killed by the player of his world. However, in his death, after it was known that he was the one creating the Dark Worlds, and the player was the evil all along. Kris was killed, but fell into the final dark fountain, or the final dark pillar. However, when he fell into it, his determination rang so powerful that it actually caused his own blood. Well, not blood. It caused his body to interact with the darkness in another way, unfathomable. It turned his DNA into that of a darkener. However, the power of so much darkness, combined with his overwhelming determination, created an explosion so powerful it destroyed the entire Deltarune world. However, Kris was reincarnated in another world. He woke up as what appeared to be a king. However, after that, he fought the Lightners. He fought this world's version of the Lightners, and still died. However, he saw the player take over, or the protagonist of that world, Sham, and kill not only him, but his own daughter in that world. And so, it was thought that was lights out for Kris, but he woke up, confused by what appeared to be 2 adults, with hair already reaching the bottom of his neck, sort of light blue skin, and red eyes. Yes. We go to the age of 3. Izuku Midoriya was an intelligent young boy, very smart and skilled. He could read, he had excellent reading skills. Hold on. Alright, sorry about that. Now, where was I? Oh, yes. Izuku was a very intelligent child, able to read at grade levels that weren't even foreseen possible. He could read an entire 300-chapter book. Each chapter was around 30 pages thick. He could read a book that large within a single minute and retain all of the knowledge within the book. His intelligence was so unbelievably high, everyone believed him to be the smartest being alive, even smarter than Nezu, as a 3-year-old. His mother and father were for sure he had some sort of intelligence quirk. His father even used some quirks to try and see what his quirk was, But when he was shocked and appalled that his son didn't have an intelligence quirk, he thought, how the heck? There's no way a human should ever be born just with that level of natural intelligence. His father, Izuku's father, found it amazing that despite it not being a quirk, his son was smarter than the beings with the strongest intelligence quirks. At the age level of 3, he was already even beginning to ask himself and people questions that didn't really make much sense, such as, what exactly first started the quirk era? Was it a chain reaction within bloodstreams? Was it the nuclear radiation from the Nagasaki and Hiroshima bombs? Or was it perhaps a genetic event, and that perhaps happened when our race first began to evolve? However, the genetic mutation had not fully adapted, and however our bodies had not fully adapted to such a genetic mutation until much later. He even began asking bigger questions like existence questions. Questions like, is existence just a game, a TV show? Is existence just like one of those animes he sees on the TV with singular episodes? He even began asking himself, what if nothing was real, as everything was basically just your 5 senses in your brain. So without your 5 senses, what exactly is real? Hold on. Sorry about that. He asked himself questions like these all the time. If they're, like I just said, what is real? If not your 5 senses, what exists beyond such? He was determined to know. He was determined to understand everything, to prevent everything. However, he was not just intelligent, he was also wise and insightful. Despite being a 3-year-old, it seemed like he knew all about war, death, casualties, and risks. He also knew what prices had to be paid for there to be peace and salvation, even if it is a small percent of salvation or people living. No price too great. Those were his first words. No price is too great. A whole sentence. Now, despite just being a 3-year-old child, he, like I just said, showed not only immense intelligence and wisdom and insight, but also great tactics and strategies. It seemed as if there was a warrior from hundreds or maybe even thousands of years ago trapped within the body of a little boy. As his father and even doctors, scientists, psychiatrists, psychologists, everyone was confused and baffled by the intelligence shown by this boy. It wasn't anything he was learning on the internet or at school. It was just his overall intelligence. However, one day, his life took a change. It was when he was 4 years old. He was diagnosed quirkless. His father and mother were baffled and didn't really care, as they believed that no matter what, he was still their son, quirkless or not. But he showed signs of definitely not quirkless. One of these being when he got home, the child was so lazy, easy to get a sandwich that his mother made for him on the counter, that appeared to be a Fanta black spade with a pure glowing white outliner around it, appeared underneath the sandwich and just floated up to his room. And just floated right to him, who was on the couch. His parents were baffled and confused. How the heck could a quirkless person have so much intelligence, insight, wisdom, strategy, tactics, and now this? It was too much for a normal person to handle. All for one, however, Hisashi Midoriya saw it great. He saw his son as a true turning point in nature. Perhaps this was the next evolution. Perhaps due to him having a child, and perhaps due to his genetics having a child, all of his quirks merged together, either along with his intelligence quirks, overall intelligence, and his wife's intelligence, quirks, skills, and wisdom, along with all of his, to combine to something even greater, as he began saying that Izuku was the next evolution of humanity. The era that would remain after quirks were a thing of, and the era that would begin after quirks would become a thing of the past. He even once said, Izuku's cells, they aren't like a normal humans. They don't deteriorate they don't deteriorate over time. As instead of his cells dying out and being replaced, they're rapidly evolving. With time, his cells and blood and his entire genome just gets stronger and better, as if he's evolving past everything. Is this perhaps the new ultimate life form? Hisashi Midoriya, aside from secretly being a villain, was also a member of a committee of extremely intelligent people. One of the people who sometimes attended this committee was Nezu himself. Nezu was baffled for years about the boy, and he thought that Hisashi Midoriya's theories could be correct, as the boy has no signs of any quirk, as Aizawa has even tried to turn off said power multiple times, but the boy is just too intelligent, too damn smart, too damn gifted. And despite his quirklessness, Izuku was seen as basically a god among quirked humans. However, there were some who were pissed off with Izuku's gifted potential. People like Bakugo Katsuki, when he heard that Izuku Midoriya, a kid who was already smarter than all of the teachers, was quirkless, it baffled him. But when he heard that the useless deku had power, abilities, and skills, he was baffled. As we go to Izuku, or Kris. It's been 40 years in this corporeal form of his now. I mean, this new life. It appears that the world has changed. Or is he in a new world, or a different timeline? It's uncertain as of right now. His determination has not shown his soul has not shown any really strong signs of determination, other than his cells repairing themselves faster than an infinite amount of the speed of light. Meaning that while it looks like his cells are rapidly evolving and not devolving or dying out, what's actually happening is Izuku's body is, yes, dying out and aging like a normal human's, but his determination and his soul is causing his genes to act differently, as Izuku has the blood and potential of carrying a quirk. However, instead of gaining said quirk, that blood has merged with his determination and magic, basically giving him a form of immortality. As we skip to middle school, as we see Bakugo then say, and as we see Bakugo, basically say, yeah, right. I'm going to be the number one hero, and you extras can't. And you extras can't even compete with me. You'd be lucky to be sidekicks to some busted old D-lister. As he'd then say, now me, I'm gonna be better than All Might. I'm gonna be the smartest, strongest, and best hero there's ever been, the boy said, with conviction in his voice. It was a great resolve, but it would basically be for naught, as it was known that deku was that the quirkless person in the class, Deku, was the strongest, smartest, and wisest of them all. He knew over 15 fighting styles at the ripe age of 10, and in middle school, he was able to defeat people with fire quirks, wind quirks, black hole quirks, wing quirks, any kind of quirk. He could defeat them just by looking at them. He would analyze every single thing about their weaknesses, skills, powers, and, strength. And he could defeat anyone easily. He was truly a fear and a being to be feared in middle school. However, when his teacher said, Midoriya, what do you want to be a hero? The boy simply looked at him and said no. Bakugo was shocked and appalled at this, as he then said, why the hell don't you want to be a hero, nerd? And why the hell do you want to be a hero, you worthless Deku? And he said this in confusion, as Izuku simply said, I've simply decided that being a hero it isn't right. While sure, a hero can be a person who does good and truth and justice, but in my eyes, a hero is only what the public makes of it. In all truth, heroes are nothing but but smelly, rotten liars who do nothing other than cheat, lie, steal, and cheat, lie, steal, connive, and manipulate, all for their own gain, and all for their own purposes, no matter what they may be. Women, power, money, fame, fortune, influence, manipulation. It's all the same, really. That's why the hero system is broken, wrong, incorrect. So, no, I don't want to be a hero. I've actually just been thinking of living a normal life, or trying to at least. However, this upset Bakugo even more, as he thought, this shitty nerd, this absolute stupid shitty nerd, thinks he has the audacity to say he's not going to be a hero, and that he thinks that being a hero is a bad job. Does you think that he can be better than me if he isn't, even if he isn't a hero? This pissed off Bakugo so much that he rushed at Deku in the middle of class and said, "Why don't you die, you fucking quirkless freak? Huh? Why don't you just die?" At this very moment, Bakugo's eyes were filled with such rage that they actually grew a few tints lighter, to the point where it shot to where it was like a bright red ruby color. The same color of another person that Izuku, Kris, knew of. He stared at Deku in rage, and Izuku in rage and said, "Why don't you just die, you quirkless freak? Huh? You haven't... Huh? Well, why don't you?" Before he could even continue speaking, a heavy aura would blast all around the class, as Izuku would then look at him with this exact face, as he would then say, and as without saying anything, and he would then summon what appeared to be a extremely fast spinning ring of Vantablack spades. However, they were moving so fast, it appeared to be a black ring, and a black flaming ring instead of spades spinning around. As he then made the attack very large, to the point where it was around the size of, 5 feet long, 5 feet wide. Basically, it's a 5 by 5 circle. So yeah, it's a large flaming circle of death. As he then moved and turned the attack sideways to the point where it looked like a ring in front of Bakugo, and where it looked like a perfect circle instead of a ring-based attack. As it then from all directions blasted extremely fast, as what appeared to be black lasers, which bounced around anything and bounced around the classroom. These were, of course, the trail patterns and the trails left behind by extremely fast Vantablack spades. As, yes, they're basically Amaterasu but spades. But in spade shape. But they only burn living things that the user wants to be burnt. And in this moment, he wants Bakugo to burn. Bakugo, however, was dodging, as no one else other than Bakugo or Izuku could see it. But Bakugo's soul had suddenly turned into but Bakugo suddenly, out of his chest, appeared a red and a well, red and black, a red and black heart. It was mainly red, but with a small circle of black in the middle. As Bakugo then said, "What is that?" As Izuku simply said, "That's your soul." I'm surprised you haven't recognized it, player. As he then released a terrifying smile, which creeped out Bakugo far more than ever should have. The reason being, Izuku never smiled, and this one looked like it came from the devil himself. More terrifying than anything Kara, or any Kara of the multiverse, or omniverse, or outerverse could even come up with. It was just a smile of pure nightmares. As he then spawned in his spade. But before, as there'd be a clicking sound, and suddenly the entire realm would turn into a black area, as then two patterns of green lines would fill the area, and would fill the entire classroom. Lines going, down, and lines going to the left and right. Lines going up and down and left and right. Basically, it looks like the Deltarune battle menu normally. As Izuku, as beneath Bakugo, he would see Katsuki, HP 99 out of 99. Level 1. EXP 0. Now you're probably wondering, bullshit. Bakugo most definitely does not have just one on EXP, right? I'm one level and no EXP, right? Well, allow me to explain. EXP only comes from, as it is called, execution points, which you only gain in turn if you kill someone. At this point in the anime and manga, Bakugo has never killed anyone, so his level or level of violence is still 1. As then a black box would appear in front of Bakugo, as it would show fight, act, items, and magic. As he went to the act, and as Bakugo in confusion tried to attack. He hit the bar correctly at the exact moment and released a large explosion-based attack. Izuku simply then used his spade and spun it around like a fan. The explosion was then put out as simple as a small flame in front of an extremely large fan. As he then said, pitiful, just pitiful. As Izuku would then start summoning spades all across the arena. As it was thought, and as Bakugo started getting hit left and right all across his soul, As he then checked, instead of attacking, because he saw it was futile, he then did the act button. As he then saw act, and as he then saw check was the only thing he could do, he then used the check button, as it then said Kris, and as it then said Chaos, the Chaos King. As its small description was a depressed, reincarnated king who was murdered twice. A depressed, reincarnated king on his third life, enraged by the eyes of crimson. I'm enraged by the eyes of the ruby demon, and of the ruby-eyed demon. As then Izuku would then calm down a bit, as he then said, and as he then took a moment to look at Bakugo, and then calm down. He then realized that Bakugo had no idea what was going on really, and turned off his attack. Suddenly, reality turned back to normal. The black boxes went away, the green lines went away, the black aura went away, the attacks went away, and the boxes underneath Bakugo, underneath and in front of Bakugo went away. Katsuki was absolutely confused, as he said to himself, "What the hell? And what does it mean, depressed king on his third life? Huh?" He decided he would do some research later. As we go to Izuku, who is in his bedroom and is now crying, as he then says, damn it, why'd I ever do that? Crap, I attacked an innocent, a freaking innocent. He's never killed anyone, his love is one. His level of violence is 1. His execution points are 0. He doesn't even know how to fight. He doesn't even know how to fight correctly. Such an idiot. As suddenly, he would then teleport. Before him, he would then see a boy with blue, and he would then see a boy with white hair, with pink horns. However, he looks a lot more human and Todoroki-esque. As he then said, Kris, wonderful to see you, my glorious, glorious king. As he then say, and as he would then say, I see you have finally broken free. You've broken free from the red puppet strings, holding you down, giving you painful stings. As he'd then say, huh? As Izuku would then say, what do you mean? As he'd then say, don't play coy with me, Christopher. After all, you're not from my world. Originally, are you? I noticed your soul was different from the original kings, and from our real kings. It was black, black as the night, black as darkness. But yours, it is almost red with, and instead of having half black like it was back in our world, now it's simply red and white. The colors of love. Not level of violence, just normal love. And the colors of, and the color of determination. As you then say, so you're Rapsay, right? As you then say, yup. Although in this world you may call me Shoto Todoroki. As you then say, I've been waiting forever to play with you, my king. And my new king. As you then say, I'm not gonna play with you yet. Maybe later. Maybe later. As you then say, you're no fun. But at least you're not as boring as the old one. As Izuku would then say, anywho, as he'd be wearing his normal casual outfit and would walk away. And would teleport away. As we go to Izuku, who is now teleported into another place that he doesn't necessarily remember. As he then sees Bakugo Katsuki, except different. As he then says, Katsuki, what? As he then says, oh, I'm afraid Katsuki, the human, Katsuki is not exactly here. Is not exactly here at this moment. He's asleep. And he's asleep. Oh, in a deep sleep. As he then say, I presume you're Susie? As she then say, and as he would then say, yup. Although being in this male body is very confusing. As she'd then say, oh well, I'm basically going to be in this human's mind. I'm in the back of this human's mind. While when he's awake, he'll be in control. But when he's asleep, I will be in control. Got it, my liege? As he then say, don't worry, Kris. I know you're from the original world of Deltarune, instead of, well, Delta Shift. As he then say, anywho, you have a good day. As she would then cause Izuku to teleport away. As Izuku was teleported back into his normal clothes and was brought into his room, he then thought, alright, now it's time to sleep. However, when he woke up, he noticed something strange. The smell of flame. There he saw it. A man covered in flames, metal, and blue spandex. Endeavor. He was burning the whole place down. As he then said, my son, Shoto must be the strongest. Only Shoto can be the most powerful. I don't care who this Midoriya kid is, I'm going to kill him. Only my son can be the strongest. As Izuku would then say, oh dear. And as Izuku would then think, oh dear. as he would then leave the house. House when Endeavor left. He was taken in by, well, Mitsuki, a Bakugo. And basically decided to live there. We skip to, well, the entrance exam. And to the date of the entrance exam, Izuku, Kris, has decided that it might be fun to do this entrance exam thing. He had to ask. Now, if you're wondering, what about Bakugo? Is he still sane? The answer is yes. Izuku had to ask Suzy to erase that memory from Bakugo's mind, as only Bakugo could see what happened, so he doesn't have to erase the mind of everyone in the classroom. As we go to Izuku, who has decided to go to the entrance exam. But when he gets there, he feels before he gets there, however, he feels something familiar. As he then sees a little girl running through the alleyways. He is concerned and decides to follow her. Not really minding who it is, till he sees one thing. In her hand, and on her hand, left, on her right palm, or the front of her right palm, he sees a golden delta rune symbol. The girl also has blonde gold hair. As Izuku, Kris, then said, "Noelle," and dashed towards her, unaware of what would come in the passing and the future. And I hope you all have enjoyed part 1 of What If Deku was the reincarnation of Chaos King Kris. Please like, share, comment, subscribe, tell me how I did, and, give me a ship in the comments. Also, should he be a hero, a villain, or a vigilante? Well, I hope you all have enjoyed. Goodbye and, skadoosh.